You sent out the invitation tomorrow, a find and a skew we will not intersect. But you will wait for me a few days ago anyway. You remember what has not yet happened. Something is always occurring, but you like to think the world moves without narrative. Effaced by loneliness and made of dots, we cannot see beyond ourselves even as we fold into the same wave that we are made of, even as we form the infinite hexagonals of a Wigisian library. You are always a gallery apart from me, halfway ahead of me, my tortoise. And no matter how fast I move, we never meet. You disappear, a point in some separate space without motion or time. I gaze at your curving countenance furtively shimmying toward your shadow, pining for your penumbra. Where we are is everywhere, all of the time. The distance between us holds us together, elastic and always on the verge. We bear each point of ourselves toward each other. You multiply away from me and onto your own path. It is love that you are in love with. The subject of your infatuation is secondary. Singular effaced, you slide through a Mobius strip of possibility and probability, a field of crossed signals and divisible graphemes. You are not true. You are mnemonic, measured, misdirected, made up. You are topographical, topological, teleological, telepathic. You are here and then, there and now, meteorological, synecdochical, of. You swerve, swelter, you boil, bubble, burst, backspace. You are aerial, subterranean, avian, archaeological, timeless, late. You are a sea monster and nimbus, extinct before you ever lived, or a fossil from the future. I am solitary and seismic. I transmit photons pulsing across wormholes and scrims, circuiting through currents of code, golden data zigzagging across reason, tracing stars and darkness and insects and the tips of trees. You are an inscription of breath. You were born on a single-leaves Venetian. You fill Volkswagens with voids. You see clearings in smoke, materiality in the mind, dances in drunkards. You resist carbon, befriend ghosts, begin residues. Your paradox contains snow falling like footprints, trucks loaded with harbours, and the moon and its meniscus. I want to make love to you and self-destruct into a dash of dust, but in a 21st century kind of way. Parallel. Looking into each other's eyes, no touch. Opulent with what we hide. Dry-mouthed assertions oscillating through belts of magenta and gardens of pixelated goodbyes. The more we move apart, the closer we become. If you keep on going, you'll reach me a day before and many later. We are strings that weigh nothing, freezing and losing our way at some bare elevation without exit and always leaving. Our bodies are brighter than our suspicions, like the links like the sky or a clock. You steal my independence and leave me alone. I seek you again and again, thinking of our brief or impossible reunion. A fugue in F major, versions of waiting, the thin decimals before the cadence, the earth silent between its own axis and its tilt. This is not new. Like lovers with unlaced shoes stepping all over everything, the nearby voice across a border, the meridian smug with its kingdom of self-imposed systems. Exhausted by existing outside time, I laugh. You are serious and I'm laughing, but I laugh because there are holes everywhere. I've travelled acres and miles and returned. I had no way of knowing whether I passed you in my escapement, in my persistent reconciliation with time. Distance, what we have here, is seeping into everywhere. It is master of the sun, the surprise of etymologies, the dispersion of sex, the theft of philosophy by science, the morality of blue. There is no third person except distance. Expanding like interstices and out in the cold like pewter, nothing has also happened. Everything is a single thing, everything brushing up against everything. We forget what we imagined and begin to navigate the obscurity of each other. You can make anything incidental combined and everything nameable and unnameable one, like measuring units of water or cloud particles dissipating as we do so. In the distance, on the outskirts, sometimes very close by, sometimes light years away, accumulating imaginary mass, now sign, apophatic and anastrophic at once. You are the opposite of everything, a conclusion before a premise, intimate before distant, breakfast after dinner. You are more and less than every perception, than every moment, and all that it can comprise, almost already, always this and that. We break every rule of science. Your mast disappears before the hull. Your scroll is a single word. Where everything is so much, we live in each other's wake, in a state of either and or, in reams and reams of language.